Hello and welcome to Mythical Meeples. Today I'll be unboxing the Warhorde of Eternus, a battle force for Slaves to Darkness faction in Warhammer Age of Sigmar. The battle force contains 24 miniatures, which we can see pictured here, and which we can see in more detail on the back here. So as you can see, you get 10 Chaos Warriors, 5 Chaos Chosen, 5 Chaos Knights, Eternus, and 3 Ogroid Theridons. So without further ado, let's have a look inside the box. So you can see here you've got various instruction booklets. So you get the Chaos Warriors, Ogroids, Chaos Chosen, Eternus, and the Chaos Knights. And you get some 32mm bases, 40mm bases, a couple of larger, I think 50mm bases, possibly 60, a ton of sprues, which we'll have a look at in more detail in a minute. And you also get some oval bases for the Chaos Knights and Eternus, which you can see at the bottom here. First up, we're going to look at the Chaos Warriors. So you get 10 of these in the box. You get 3 different sprues for them. You get a few different options available. So you can see here you've got different weapon options and different shield options, allowing you to really customize them. So let's have a look at the instructions. You've also got different heads options as well. So you can see here for the champion, what looks like the champion, you've got build up the body, arms, head, shield, and even the alternate option, which you can see here, you do similar as well. Following this, you've got the standard bearer. So again, you build up the body, then the arm here, standard, and you stick it all together. So they're not very complicated, the Chaos Warriors. You've got, or alternatively, you can build the standard bearer as a warrior, which you can see here. Again, same sort of steps. You've got a couple different options as well, so you can have one holding a double-handed weapon, or one holding a single-handed weapon and some skulls. Then you've got the musician, which you can build as Chaos Warrior as well. So again, it's very similar to the previous steps. Body, arms and head, followed by the weapons. And again, that's the same for the different options. So I'm assuming the basic warriors will also follow this pattern. Again, yeah, you can see body, arms, and then you've got your different weapon options here. And they all follow this basic pattern of building up the body and the legs where necessary, then attaching the arms and the heads. So you end up with a unit of 10. So you can see we've got 3 sprues for the Chaos Warriors. These are still combined because of the larger battle force. Let's take a look at this one first. So you can see here you've got several body parts. This looks like the standard bearer and possibly either the champion as well. That could just be a regular warrior. Really detailed components. I love the combination of the fur and the cloaks. I've always been a fan of the old Chaos Warriors back in Warhammer Fantasy, and the new kits are just as good as the old, well, better than the old ones. See the new kits 2022, but the range is still as visually striking as ever. So let's have a look for some mould lines. You can just about make them out here where my finger is on the armor panel and on the legs here. So these should be really easy to clean up, and we've seen the assembly instructions, so they'll be really quick to build as well. Let's have a look at the other sprue now. Again, I love the combination of sort of different skins with the cloaks, and the furs especially my favourite. It gives you a chance to give you different colour options and a bit of contrast on your Chaos Warriors. Shields are all different as well, which allows you a little bit of customization, although some of them have got them built into the model. Next up, we've got the Chaos Knights. So for these ones, you've got even more sprues than before. You've got 3 same size as the warriors, plus a smaller one here. And again, you've got different options that you can see here. So you start off building up the horse, which you can see here. And then you start attaching the rider to the top of it. So the horse fragments contain where you've got the head, 2 body parts, and then you start building up legs and the torso, which you can see here. And then you've got a choice of different weapons as well. And then finally finish off by attaching the last pieces of the horse, depending on which build option you've gone for. Again, number 2, you get a choice of standard bearer or just regular Chaos Knight. You can see here options are very similar. Build up the parts of the horse and then the rider afterwards. You've also got different options for Chaos Icons as well, allowing you to dedicate your army to one of the Chaos Gods or Undivided. So these are far more complicated than the warriors, made up of far more different pieces, and you can just see just by looking at just the rider how many different pieces are going into it as well. You've also got a musician which you can build, and again you follow the same basic steps, building up the horse and then building up the rider. You can alternatively build as a regular Chaos Knight. And again, for the regular warriors, regular Chaos Knights, you again build up the horse and then the rider, which you can see here. Let's have a look at the sprues. So this is the smaller sprue. It looks more like a command sprue than anything else. You can see the banner, the different icons, I think the musician's horn, and I think one of the weapons available to the champion. Got a blank banner by the looks of it, so you can customize how you want it to look. So again, if you wanted to follow through with one of the gods, you could, or you could go Undivided should you choose to do so. Try and see if we can see any mold lines. Probably going to be quite hard to spot because there's not a lot of places to see them. You can just about make them out on the banner, but they are really faint. They're hard to pick up the eye, and the camera also struggling to pick them up because of how faint they are. So cleaning these up should be really quick as well. Let's look at the other sprues quickly. So you can just see how detailed these are. Like on the barding, you've got armour, and underneath you've got the chainmail. Again, you've got the fur on the cloaks. Got the lances here. So the lance is quite long, which is what you want from your knights. Otherwise they won't hit many things. Really detailed kit. Really love how well designed these are. Again, it's quite hard to make up mold lines. If you're going to spot them, going to be on the lance. And then this is the final sprue. So again, it's very similar to the other one. the other large one, you can see the different pieces of the knight, parts of the body like the shields, lances. Really, really well designed kit. Look a bit complicated to build, but they should be worth it in the end. Next up, we've got the Chosen. So there's 5 Chosen. And again, you've got a couple different weapon options that you can go for on your Chosen. You've got the axe or the sword that you can see here. And again, like the warriors, you start off by building up the body, which has got torsos and legs, then with the arms, and then your head. And the different warriors do the same sort of thing as well. You've got options for a banner bearer. And you've got different options, like the Chaos Knights, different options for the icon on the banner. So you can go Chaos Undivided, Nurgle, Khorne, Tzeentch, or Slaanesh. Again, you've got different options, so you can build this one as a regular warrior, should you wish to. Then got options for a musician, which you can see here. And again, you can build this one as a regular warrior as well. And for this one, you build up the torso and the legs again, and then the arms and the rest of the body. Next up, you've got one of the regular warriors. Again, this follows the same basic principle as before. Body, legs, then arms. So you've got a couple different weapon options for this one. And then you do the head and the shoulder pads. And again, for the final warrior, who you've got different options for, you do your body and the legs, followed by the arms, and then the head here. Let's take a look at the sprue now. So you can see immediately you've got the chaos icons here and the banner. You can make out the different weapon options that you've got. Each piece is quite clear. So you've got your torsos and your backs, your legs here. I think they've all been grouped roughly together, so you shouldn't have to hunt too far from your sprue. Again, these are really, really gorgeous kits, and I love the detail on these. As I said before, I really, really like the old Warhammer Fantasy Chaos Warriors range, and I'm really, really glad they kept it in the transition to Age of Sigmar. Let's see if we can spot any mould lines, which I think the best place would probably be on the back of the legs here. You can just about make them out where my finger is, but they are very faint again. So like the Chaos Warriors, these should be really, really quick to build and quite quick to clean up as well. Next up, the Ogroids or Ogroids, however you pronounce it. And as we said before, you've got 50mm bases for them to go on. You've got 3 sprues. So you start off, you've got a couple variants as well. Start off building up the body and the legs, which you can see here. Then attaching the loincloth and tail. You do the head and then attach it to the base. Then you build up the next warrior, or Ogroid, sorry, which is following the same basic principles. Body and legs, tail, head. And you do the same for the third one as well, so that you end up with these 3 bodies. Then you've got your different options, so you can either go for swords and shields, or you can go for 2-handed weapons. You've got a few different head options as well, allowing you a bit of versatility, and by the looks of different head options on the axes, as well as different shield options. So this is a variant of the shield, the champion, or you can build him as a regular one. So you've got your main body, and then you just attach your arms and the shield and the head here before attaching the shoulder pads. And for the regular warrior, it's very similar: arms, shield, head, shoulder pads. standard bearer, who can also be built as a regular warrior. Again, you follow the same similar principles. Arm, sword, arm and weapon, and then you look at the banner. And again, you had the Nurgle, Slanesh, Khorne, Tzeentch, and Undivided symbols. As you can see, once you've built up the arms, you then do the shoulder pads and the head. And then you've got the musician and the warrior. So it is the same as before, except this time you built the same process, so whether or not you attach the shield or the banner. Alternatively, these ones can be built with great axes, but it's very similar principle to before, with the use of the arms, attaching the arms, and then you attach the weapon, where you've got the different head options that we pointed out at the beginning of the instructions. Again, you can do your different chaos symbols here. The same principle if you're building the regular warrior. So you've got a choice for your standard bearer. You can build your great axe, which you can see here. So the only real difference is the weapon that you're giving them over the sword. And here you have the musician, or you can just build them as a regular warrior. So you'll find the most differences between this and the standard bearer, because they're either holding the axe in one hand or two hands, which gives you different poses, which you can see here. That's it for the Ogroids. Let's have a look at their sprues. So here's the first sprue. You can clearly make out which piece everything is. You can see the different swords. You can see the pieces of the head here, and the horns, and the legs, tail. Really, really nice and detailed. Again, these came out in 2022, so not that long ago. And you can really see sort of detail in all of the kits. And mould lines, looking for them on the legs. Again, they are really, really faint. So cleaning up the mould line should be really, really quick. Despite my best efforts to find them, they are not very obvious at all. So let's look at the other part of the sprue. So again, it's really obvious what piece is what. You've got the different shields, you've got the banner here, torsos, got the parts of the head, sort of upper body, swords, axes, and then the axe heads over here. And then the other side is mostly the backs of things. So you've got the insides of the shoulder pads and insides of the fur on the crest of their heads. Again, these are really, really detailed, really liking these kits. Again, it's quite hard to spot the mould lines, so Search have done a really, really good job with all of these kits, all of the Slaves to Darkness kits. Finally, we're going to look at Eternus. So Eternus can alternatively be built as a Chaos Lord demonic mount. So if you don't want the main character, you have got a different option to go with. Start off, you build the same steps, so you can see here, one is familiar to both, and then from there you'll be deviating, either following 2 for the Eternus, or 3 and 4 for the Chaos Lord. Start off by building up the mount, so this is similar for the Chaos Knights, and then it deviates quite quickly into just Eternus. So you can see here again, you're finishing up by building up the demonic mount, and then you're building up Eternus and the different armor platings on the mount, and then the weapons that you can see here, until eventually it's the stage where you're sticking into the base, like so. Chaos Lord is again following very similar steps, so you finish up building the mount, then you start building up the Chaos Lord on top, which you can see here, and then you've got a few different weapon options to go with. So you can either build the lance, you can build an axe or a hammer. I don't know, it's one weapon, sorry. So it's a lot more complicated than some of the other kits, but it is a hero and probably what you'd expect from such a kit. So let's have a look at the sprue. So again, you can just see how much more there is on this sprue for the one character, how much detail there is. If you look at the saddle, you've got fur under here. You can see all the chainmail on the armour, fur on the cloak again. Got different weapons here and here. It's really, really detailed kit. And again, this came out in 2022. So a lot of these kits are brand new almost. So you'd expect really good quality from them. And let's try and see if we can spot those mould lines. You can just about make them out on the muscle here. They are quite well hidden and quite faint, so it should be quite easy to clean up, which is a real bonus of these models over some of the older ranges. So that's it for the Battle Force. I hope you liked this video and found it helpful. If you did, don't forget to like, subscribe, comment down below as well. And this helps me grow as a channel and be seen by more people. If you want more content from me as well, head over to Mythical Meeples, where you can also become a member, or you can subscribe to me on Patreon for £2 a month, where you'll gain access to extra content, sneak previews, and behind the scenes. And if you want to buy your own Games Workshop products, then head over to Element Games using the affiliate link below. You get discount off of most Games Workshop products, generally around 15%. And I get a 5% kickback for every purchase you make through that link, as long as you don't click on somebody else's. So once again, thank you for watching. I'll see you in the next one. Bye for now.